So let's start with the second part of our Let's Clone series. And today we are so excited that actually got great response. Our first video, which we cloned, if I can just try to show you, if we see our channel, if we can go and see view my channel, okay, there you can see that in the video section, in the live section, okay, this video got more than 600 views. So that's why we have planned to show you the to explain the second part for this Angular uh, thing. Now, Angular Let's Clone series, our Spotify clone has reached around 13,000 views. So thanks for that. Keep supporting and keep trusting us that we will try to deliver you the best quality possible. But that being said, now let's start with our course, which we are going to okay, let's now start with this. And with this, we will be easily able to know that how you can go towards the next step in Angular with this clone project. So if I can go and open my VS Code where we were developing that thing, let's go to VS Code. Okay, so that's our VS Code over here where we were trying to develop that thing. We saw that if we can just start our application first of all. So to start this application, just to start this application, simply if you don't know how you can go to it, you need to do npm start. So over here I do npm start. This will start my application. You can see ng serve. This will start my application, and our application is up and running. And if you want to see that application, we can go towards here and type https. Just going over here, we can type https localhost 4200. So this was our main page, what we were trying to develop. Okay, now what we are going to do over here is yeah, the first thing what we are planning to do is, if we can go to our code over here, if we go to our app.html, here we have this router outlet which is directly linked to this app.component file, and in the components we made this file available where we have this data. Okay, we have this ts file, we have this normal HTML footer, and everything was available. If we see our page over here, this is how we designed this thing. I am pretty much sure that I want to reduce the size of this image. So for that, I can see what class I supplied to us. It was logo Instagram. If I can find this thing, it ranged about 12 em. I'm going to shrink this around 11.5 em or 11 em. I think 12 will be fine for that. But right now, we are more concentrated towards where we have supplied that thing. I think that was a banner thing. Yeah, right? Yeah. So login banner, this was a class where we supplied this login banner. And here I can, or over here as well, to just to show you, you can supply style.width, and you can supply the width for this thing. For example, 10 em. So you can see how it applies. That's now up to you how you want to deal with this. I think I will be happy to keep this at 30 for now. Now, where we have supplied both of these things, okay, I guess in the login form, where we have this data. Okay, we have this inputs where you can see this was our form, what we designed. And if we can go to the authenticate page where we have the login, here you can see that we were having this IG login form banner with IG login form. So both of these things were carried over here. Now another scenario is what the point is, we have this login flex container, and if we can go to the CSS here, I would then like to give some gap of, let's say, 20 pixels, so that we have enough gap in both of these worlds. Okay, so we also need some gap while we are working with this kind of scenarios. I hope things are getting clear to you, and you are also getting some clear ideas how you work with such kind of scenarios. Okay, so like this, you work with all of these videos, all of these things in Angular. Okay. Okay, so after once we have reached over here, like this. Now the point is we need some um, routes as well. Okay, so for now, what I can do is we have some spaces, we have this one, and if we can go to Instagram like this, and we can go for a normal page, this was how it looks. Now, if I see this app, below this or we need this login with Facebook, we need this forgot password. So we can now directly apply those things as well. So in order to apply that thing, let me just adjust the camera a bit. Excuse me. There. Can I apply this thing? Apply it. Okay. Sorry, just forget about the camera. I know it's a bit problematic, but I think we will be able to manage. Actually, I was setting up my environment, but I think we will able to maintain this thing. Hmm. Now, another point is we somehow need this login with Facebook and this forgot password. How we can achieve that thing? We know all of those things resides in our form. Okay, resides in our form, and just let me reduce this to a bit extent. Yeah. Now another thing is login form. This is my login form. Let's go to the login form directly. And here we are having this login form. Now what I need is inside this login form where I have this B divider, I exactly need two things, login with Facebook. So let's have this thing, login with Facebook, just like this. If I save this thing, I can see on my page, here we get this thing, login with Facebook. Over here, that's in the center part. Okay, so we need some procedure. So we can just align that thing in center. Obviously, we will be able to do it. Let's see if in this center I can give this thing in the center. Okay, we'll try to manage the stuff more when we come to the final delivery. But right now, I think a small text should do this thing. So now if I see over here, yeah, it's in center, and we need two more things. That's the forgot password. So for now, I will make one more placeholder that says forgot password. Forgot password with a question mark like this, and over here it's the forgot password text. Obviously, we are going to manage. We will be managing the font size. Okay, we will be managing the font size. No worries. But right now we are trying to get the exact thing. If I could just save this thing, let's see if I can just manage to save this file. what is this exactly? Let me just see if I could save this file. It's a okay. Even this could work, but actually these all are photos. Okay, these both all are images. So that's why even if you apply that thing, there's no problem. But when we work towards the perfection, we should know how we apply those things. So if I do it somewhere around 20, if I can go just about 10, I think 17 would be better, would feel better. Okay, right now can go with this image, but later on will change definitely. And then we need don't have an account. Okay, that thing is quite possible in our setup. We just need another card over here, and if we save, we get another card. Obviously, we are going to change how it looks, but right now we need to do the placements. That's why I don't have an account sign up. And for now, let's simply first of all try to save everything so that at least we have all the contents what we require. Okay, we say it's save images and I do it as Google Play like this. That's a PNG, and also do it get it from Microsoft. So MS Store done. Now it's the get the app, and if you want to have this thing, it's without the cards. So that means you can for now, but all of these things should be in a Flexbox. But we will be building that thing soon. But for now, what I will really do is I will make another card, and in this card, I will then supply those images with some source, and there I will be just supplying it something like this, where I know that I want to first close this thing, and then comes the source, and we know our file resides in assets. And if you're not sure, you can see in assets, it's not Google, it's Google, Google. Google is assets Google Play dot png, and another one would be MS Store, MS Store, msstore.png. And if I can save, those are too huge, but we know we can settle those things. It will be uh, a easy fix where I can do style dot width, and for now I can do it as 4em. Okay, and similarly we can also place this as 4em. Okay, but what I've seen, they have somewhat a bit similarities are there. So I think this should obviously do the trick. But let's say we want to just be super clear with this thing. So we can even place this thing like this. And now we have a clear idea of how we want to adjust our banner. So sure, cool. And I will be supplying this thing by 18. And yeah, now if we see our form where we have this thing, now I want to frame a card where we have some boundaries. So how I can do that? I can do P custom border card where, okay, where I can do, first of all, I remove all the borders, and then I do box shadow. I also remove all the box shadows, and then I do border, and I say that I want 1 pixel solid gray. And if I supply this class towards my HTML, how it should be somewhat like this. If I save everything, save all, just let me check. Here we can apply a class which says something like this, but here this card is taking effect, but actually it's not applying like the way we want. So in those scenarios, what we generally do is we in our Angular world, we do ng deep, and we apply those things towards the p card attribute where you want to supply those things. Okay, so I say that ng deep, please pick my deep. Okay, and just apply these things like this. Now if you see, there is no shadow and the border is applied to each and every classes. Okay, so that's how you apply those classes like that. Okay, I want border radius to also be none, because to 0 pixels, because if you see this card, there is no border pixel at all. And actually I understood that they are using light gray in my opinion. Yeah. Now, slowly, we are coming to that extent where we have designed this thing so far like this. Okay, and pretty much we will be there. But what I remember now is we don't also need any paddings, to be precise. If I remove all the paddings, then that's fine. And for now, I don't want my card to have any margins as well. Great. And just to be sure, if I remove this thing, okay, and to be sure, I don't want those things. That's why I have removed those things. Now, to some cards, if you see this text, okay, if you try to see this one here, this card, which is this one, just here, or this text where we have this p card body, this is holding up the padding. So if I remove the padding, now you see everything is adjusted. So this card, so we don't want a p card body to have that thing. So in order to fix that thing, it will be a quick fix where you can do dot p dash card dash body, and I supply, oops, okay, I do one more ng deep, and I say to my p card body that I want the padding to be 0 pixels. Now the padding is not there, and with this padding, after all, I can just simply try to adjust my pick a bit, adjust it. Cool. Now if you see uh, to our form here, get the app doesn't have any borders, so too we are going to do it. Here I do a small again, and I say get the app. Okay, and because this is not a form, so I can say like app dash provider dash container. And to this, now I'm going to supply another CSS to this one as well. So here I can do it a display of flex. I say that the flex direction would be column, I say that my justify content, okay, justify content, and the another property is align items. So align items should be center and my justify content should also be center. If I can save everything and if I do a reload, if I can go to my this file and I can supply class, uh, we applying this the app provider container. Let me just check for this one. Okay, cool. And because this is a common one, so I will be supplying it in my global styles. Okay, it will be a global style thing where I'm going to apply. So where it went, yeah. So one element, two element, and three element. Okay. Okay. Now here we have these elements, right? And supply this with class. Yeah. Okay. Just okay. Yeah. And these should remain under one roof like this. And I think I should also format the document. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So if I go over here now, okay, in this area, I say that the width will be 100%. And if I do that, everything is fine. And if you don't specify this as well, it's going to take obviously the 100%. But if I can check on this element, if I can check on this element falls under this p card content. If you can see p card content, and to this card I'm applying that thing. Now when you apply something to this kind of scenarios, because this card is of PrimeNG, that's why it makes sense if you can apply the entire information, whatever you want to because supply to this div. Because div is a block level element, that means it will stretch to the entire width of the element, hence you get what you were desiring. I will make and yeah, obviously you can also supply this class as well. Doesn't make a sense. So I will be using something known as flex form card. So this makes more sense to me. So I'm gonna replace both the occurrence like this, and also towards here I can supply flex form card. So let me just save this thing. Everything is good. And with this, I'm also going to do flex gap 10 to give 10 gap. I can do justify content, justify self center, and I give it a gap of 10 pixels. And with this, I do display is of flex, and I give this dot flex gap 10 to this one. So this class goes over here. Cool. And with this in mind, because you see I need some gap over here, so what I can do is I can make one more thing, which is override gap. Okay, override from card, where I can specify that the gap should be somewhat 20 pixels or it should be 14 pixels. Can be enough. Based on the experience, 20 pixels would be enough. I grab this thing, I go to my file, and I simply supply this thing like this. So we also have the gap now. Now, obviously, our cards should also get some spacing, some margin. So if I can go to my style, I do here margin, that's 10 pixels. And because that's a flex card and PrimeNG won't make some changes like that. And if you plan to give some margin here as well, let me show you the effect. If you plan to do something like this, would work. Okay, so for now, just for now, what we can do is we can supply our individual heights like this. Perfect. And with this in mind, if we see how things looks and behaves, okay, now what I just need, I don't want to use this border over here. So what I will do is I don't want border for this. So to this card, generally to this card, I'm going to say border to none. Hence, I don't get any border for this thing. Okay. But I do want the border for another thing. So that will remain exactly the same. Now, if we can see this image, there should be a way of adjusting. I will come back to this one much more nicer. But right now, as it is for beginner, we'll stick to this solution. Okay, we'll stick to this solution. Until now, if you're liking the video, if you're liking the content for this beginner's approach, definitely hit the subscribe button and like the channel, share the video among you guys so that we all can learn Angular. So all of these things are working. More on this will be in our further correction video. But right now, this is what we have laid down. If you really want this thing, let's search Instagram login page, iPhone image. We see if we get something which we can put on our screen. Do we get something? Let's see. I don't believe if we can get anything what we require, but then also we can check. Do we get something like what we really require? Do we have something? Anything do we get? You can go to the colors, go to the transparent to get the correct image what is preferred. That's close, but needs something which is more flexible. Uh, we can obviously use this if I can save my image as a login banner. Let's see if we can utilize that image. Obviously, we could have utilized this thing, but I think we should fix the size. Let's say it's 250 pixels, but I think the image is of that much size. If I stretch it to 100%, okay, got it. Okay, so we need something which have some exact ratio. Even I guess this should work, right? This should work. So login banner and save this file. Okay, and we don't want any percentage values, rather we need something which is dynamic. Uh, this should work in my frank opinion, should work. Okay, so now if you see we are towards this page, and finally we need this header things, right? So for this I will right now applying one hack, but don't worry, we'll soon see how we can fit in more things. So the hack is, in order to apply this thing, if you can go to this file here, I will say something public read only, and we have one property what I'm referring to as read only, and that is footer links. Okay, and footer links will be a string array right now that is obviously not defined here. It is not undefined actually, but we are supplying those values. Now the trick is you supply it with single inverteds, and then you kind of end and do something like this. Perfect. And now you can end this array like this. Now another thing is what you can do when you have this link now, because it's Angular 16. Now in the imports array, you need to import ng4. ng4 is there in action, and now what I want to do, I want to supply these footer links to my HTML. So if I do something like this, what I'm now trying to achieve, suppose we are having some span, and here I do ng4, let L of links footer links. I can simply do L, and if we see some output, because we are not using that component anymore, that's why we don't get any output. But in my login form, okay, if I just simply try to display the footer, that's why this thing is happening. If I can just leave something like this, okay, then we have that thing here, but I will try to explain you by fitting that thing over here itself. First of all, let's format everything, and yeah, now our point is that two of the things should stay over here, but this thing should go below this. So we have a row and all of these things. So what I can generally do is we supply another div to it, another block level element, and yeah, just let me place this thing. I supply one div like this, and to this div I will place one class which says login footer, okay, flex call container, something like this. I then grab this component, go to my CSS file, and here I do my displays of flex. My flex direction is column. Okay. Now understand what we are trying to achieve is. First of all, you need to do this as column. Why? Because then we want to achieve for row. Let me just try to explain what I'm doing. It's a little catch, but you will soon understand what I'm trying to do. Okay. I grab this class and I then place this class, okay, not over here, but what now I will do is I try to make a div with a class of with a class of what we have developed so far. I place that thing. Let's go to the CSS. Let's grab this thing here, and now I just try to place this class over here, and I want to place both of these things here. Let's save everything, and now I get the desired results. Now if I can go over here, I can just specify that each of my elements should be small, okay, and if you want, we can do at something like this class, and to this class, not over here actually, to the span, I can do class, and I can do that these are my flex items. So footer flex item items. Let's go to the CSS. Let's place this thing here. We know that display is flex. My flex direction is row. My justify content is space evenly, and my align items is center. Let's save everything, and flex items, and here we have everything there where we did wrong. Footer links. Okay, it should be supplied. I think somewhere we have some problem. Not over here. No. I think the element which we are trying to represent is of block level nature. Let's identify this problem. If we can go to this card, this entire thing, it's a div. Yeah, this one, span. Okay, it should be like this. Cool. Yeah. Now my span, if this one, I can do it width of 100%. Okay. And then I need a gap of 20 pixels each. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah. Cool. Okay, 20% each. And if I can see my login form where I was specifying my form, I guess. Yeah. I need one more thing here besides the way we were laying this form, okay, here flex container and all of those things to this login form container where we have everything. We need some gap, okay, so it can be 100 pixels, and now things are fine. Okay, things are fine. Now here, if you don't want the scrolls, if you don't want the scrolls, what you can generally do is we simply on this page we have this here to the root of this thing, I say overflow hidden. Okay, uh, just check one thing, and overflow, that's the Y action, right? Need to check for this thing because I think our body content should be hidden, but we'll fix it soon. But right now the design looks fine to me, and we have something like this, but this we can come back later and then fix this thing, right? So okay, this is something what we have achieved so far. Now another thing is if we log into this page, okay, if we quickly log into this page and and then get back how it looks. We need to always check on that as well. So suppose I click on something, we also get the show. If we type something, okay, we are not getting the show, but soon we'll get. Okay, soon we will be able to get that thing. Our form is here. We have the P divider. Yeah, our divider is also fine now. We are providing the full 100% width. Now, I need some way. Actually, I forgot password. So I will try if I can log in. I will try if I can just log in. Sorry, password is gonna double check the password. I think I forgot the password. I can see it usually happens, but then no worries. We can just also look at what are the steps really. Let's check if we receive something. Yeah, I do receive. Yeah, okay. Just one sec. Great. Okay. So for you guys, I can create one new so that we all are on the same page. So just a fun tutorial, those who aren't so good with this, all of these things. But for now, let's do this thing. Okay, let's write our something. Obviously, I will be uh, just binding of this one. Oh yeah. Okay, let's quickly check whatever things we can get from this. Okay, next, let's check if we get some code quickly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do we get something, something? I don't think so. We have something. Uh, I haven't got anything. Let's request once more if we kind of get something. Nope, still we don't get anything. I think there might be some issue, but don't worry, we'll get back to this once we are done. But for right now, you should be happy that we have something on our screen. From here, in the next video, in the part 3, we will be just trying to create the home page for this so that you get the idea how you can utilize the PrimeNG, how you work with this. I will also a bit improve on this because I have to show you how you deal with such kind of scenarios where you can play with cards, you can play with different style attributes. Each and every scenario should be known to you. That's why, but yeah, in the real life, you don't apply each and everything just like this. It should be just one procedure. Either you apply the classes or either you apply with the styles. But for now, I need to show you like how you deal everything with in React. So this was pretty much it regarding this course. So thanks for watching for this. Do share this video among so many of you who are into this tech. And I also have pretty much across 50 different technological courses, which you can just DM to me. I have my Telegram group in my about section uh, of this channel. So there you can join us and you can just ask whatever you want from me. Thanks for watching, and I will now see you in the next one.